first and foremost, all 100 people on this call, I appreciate you guys for taking your time out of the day. I'm going to let you know right now at the start of the call, there is no sale, there's no pitch, there's nothing at the end of this call. This is going to be about 40 minutes to 45 minutes of free game. I'm going to show you guys receipts. I'm going to show you withdrawals, my game plan, all of that. The whole purpose of this call is to really just pour into people, give them a little bit better understanding of my strategy and really what's possible. I know right now in 2022, prop firms are a very, very big thing. And I'm not knocking prop firms. I just, once again, wanted to show people what's possible with $500. You don't need a lot of money in the market. All you need is a couple good opportunities and a lot of confidence in your skill set. So let's go ahead. The first thing I'm going to do is show you guys the actual first entries that I took. I'm also going to show you guys screenshots of the entire process, like how I was maintaining orders, things of that nature. I know a lot of people on this call, this might be your first time even hearing about trading. So the first two things I'm going to teach everyone, I know a lot of people are intermediate to advanced. So I know a lot of tonight's call might go over some people's head, but you know, this is an intermediate to advanced call. So this is probably going to be one of the only things that I really give out for the basics. But for those who are brand new, if you're ever buying in a market, whether it's the stock market or like this pair that I'm going over tonight, this is the US dollar against the Japanese yen. So these are currencies. So if you're ever buying, you always want price to go to the sky. If you buy, you want price to go to the sky. If price goes down when you're buying, you're losing money. Okay. And if you're ever selling in this market, if you ever sell, you want price to go down, right? Sell, you want it to go to hell. So that's the absolute basics. That's the simplest way I could ever explain to somebody what we really want to happen. When we're trading, we're either predicting whether we think it's going to go up or whether we think it's going to go down. It's really that simple. From there, all we're looking to do is look at a couple of things. The first thing, on my right screen, I have the daily time frame. Okay. So for all of you that are new to trading, you might ask, what does that mean? Up here, you can see I can click on different time frames and it'll show me different things on the chart. All right. These black candles are for buys and these white candles are for sells. So buys are up, sells are down. All right. And from there, all we're trying to do is anticipate where do we think we can get in for a good buy. So this area here is the 61.8 retracement area. So once we have a big bullish move right here, you can see we had a really big bullish move. It broke the previous highs over here. This is where price had somewhat respected those highs. We had this big bullish move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that ended up breaking through this previous high over here. From there, I'm just measuring retracement, right? From there, I'm just saying to myself, okay, once price reaches a high, which it did up here, how far does it retrace? How far does it come back before we're able to try to get back into more buys? All right, so over here, this is going to take us to the beginning of the story. This is going to take us to what I was actually in. So this whole area over here, I was actually like taking counter trend shorts. So remember, just because on the higher time frame we're bullish, we still have the skill set where we can be selling on the counter trends. So although we're expecting the higher time frame to push price up, even when it comes back to these retracement zones, we can still make money on sells. So this whole time, once again, moving averages are something that can help you a lot. So for me specifically, I like this one moving average. I use the 50 moving average that's up here, the 50 MA. And it's very simple in regards to if price is above the moving average, look for buys. If price is below the moving average, look for sells. It's really that simple. So it's not a guarantee. It's just a confirmation. We have to keep in mind that trading at the end of the day is still just probabilities. It's you know, I was listening to a quote the other day and somebody said, you know what, we can accept that trading is gambling, but if my gambling win percentage is 65, 70%, I'll take that, right? I'll take that rate. So myself personally, I'll take that rate as well. If I know 65, 75, 80% of the time I'm going to be right about the gamble I'm taking, I'll take that. You know, starting a business, that's a 30% gamble. Only 30% of new business owners end up having success. So out of 100 people who start a business, that's a 30% win rate. So it's like, once again, we got to think about skill sets. What skill sets are out there right now? What are different things that you can do to get paid? I go to the airport. Everybody at the airport is on their phone. Everybody, everybody, even the people working there. So I'm like, if I'm going to be on my phone all the time, I might as well know how to do something that can actually make me some money, actually be like a video game. So over here, as price is below the moving average on the 1 hour time frame, I was really just taking shorts. Once again, not long shorts, but for example, right here, this high to this low, we see price retrace back to like the 38.2 area. I could have maybe took a sell there and then close back out around that point B. Okay, super simple in that regard. So that leads us to the beginning of the actual area that I was in, and I'll explain to you the reason I'm covering shorts. I'll explain to you here in a second because this is very important. I was actually in shorts before I ended up taking the buys. And the reason that's important is because sometimes in the market, you have to be able to change your bias. You got to be able to shift and maneuver. So let me pull up the first screenshot. I want to pull up the first screenshot and I'm going to share that. All right, let's go ahead and share the first screenshot. New share. Boom. All right, so put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see this. I just want to make sure that this is visible. All right, lit. Okay, so the first actual trade that I took was down here at 130.98. Okay, once again, you see the $500 deposit. The first trade that I took was just 2 lots. So that's $20 per pip, meaning every time price moves a pip, that's $20 that it's wavering. All right, so the easiest way to think about it, I think about it like football, where it's like 1 pip is equivalent to a yard. So in football, if I'm in a buy with 1.0s and price goes up 10 yards, then just like that, I'm up $1,000, right? So the whole concept of what we're looking at here is the first entries that I took were 130.98 with a 1.0. So $10 per pip. And excuse me, a 1.0 at 10 pips would be $100, not 1,000. The easiest way to calculate it is always just move the decimal to the right. So USDJPY buy 1.0, move the decimal to the right. It's worth $10 every single yard or every single pip. So you can see as I'm maintaining the order, I'll get into that. But the first trades that I actually took were sells, and I got broken out, stopped even. The reason that's important, I'll go back over to the chart, is because I was able to change my bias because I understood that on the daily time frame, we're still overall bullish. So over here, you can see on the daily time frame, we had that A, that start of that move, the B, the high of that move, and I've been going wick to wick. I know some of you guys that have been around with me for a while, you guys know I used to go like the median, the middle, and now I've been going wick to wick just because if price is going to show that it reached those levels, then let's acknowledge that. Like, that's data. I feel like that's something that we should stay true to. So I go from the wick of the bullish move to the wick of the bullish move right before we have a correction move, which you can see here. We had bearish and then started to correct. And then beyond that, now I'm looking for retracement. So price came to the 61.8 area. I ended up getting my entry on a daily wick, but it's actually on the M15 down here. You can see this whole time we're trending down, right? We're creating lower lows and lower highs. This was the area down here that I had taken a short. So I took a short on this candle, basically anticipating that, all right, you know what? If price is going to continue to retrace, let me take a short off this resistance and maybe try to take it down to this area. Once I was about 20, 30 pips in profit, I had actually rolled my stops to break even right at this area. And then this is what changed my bias. Is this one candle right here is what changed my bias. Once price had come back above, stopped me at a break even, and then closed back over, this is when I had got my entries on the lower time frame. Let me go to the lower time frame. Let's zoom back.
We can't see.
Oh, hold on. Let me see here. Share. Still can't see the Safari. Can't see my.
I could see.
Clear as
I
day.
can see.
Everyone can see? But
Yes.
lit. So this area here on the lower time frame is where we actually broke. So down here was where I took the shorts. I went into profit. Once again, the style of aggressive nature that I was trading, it's like once you're in profit, you have to be very protective over what you just traded, because like any bit of retracement with 1.0s, two lots on a $2,000 account, because I had grown the $500 to 2,000 using 0.5s. So just trading, taking those counter trend USD shorts using 0.5s, I took it to 2,000. Once I was at 2,000, then I had taken 2 lots of shorts, counter trend right here with this momentum, this 5-minute close below, go into profit, roll my stops to break even. Once price stops me out and we close above this area and I'm back above the moving average and we're breaking this counter trend, to me, that's an easy enough buy. Where do I place my stops immediately, or at least my mental stops, is if price closes below this higher low right here. Okay, so if I'm getting in on this type of confirmation, we're closing above the moving average, we're breaking this basically these lower lows and lower highs, we're breaking this trend on the lower time frame / M15. We're actually starting to see buyers come back into the market. We're crossing over the 50. This price closing back above with this type of movement was enough for me to say, all right, you know what, I can place my stop or my mental stop, if anything, below this area right here. So 2.0, get in around this area. That's 21 pips. So you're basically at that point, that's $20 per pip. That's $400 on a $2,000 account drawdown that I would have seen before. I'm saying, all right, you know what, if price comes from this area all the way back down to this area, that's $600. Like, I'm really looking at $600 if it comes and retests this area. One last thing too, me knowing that on the daily time frame we reached a 6218 level, I can still on the lower time frames use my fib, right? Point A of the bullish wick to point B, the high, we got in between a 50% to 38.2 on the 15-minute. And if we like went to M30 or something a bit lower, you'll see the same thing. You're going to see the same thing on every time frame. You're going to see that retracement. So let me take some of this out. All right, so let me pull up the second screenshot. Pull up the second screenshot. Sure. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys how I maintain the order before I pull up the second screenshot, because the second screenshot is basically breaking down where I exited, why I exited, things of that nature. Okay. So I took that entry, and the entry would have been taken on, I don't know, I think it was like a Monday, or maybe it was a Sunday or Monday, probably a Monday. And once I went into profit, you guys that have been following me for a while know I just use fib retracement to maintain the order. So here on the H1 time frame, even if I'm using the replay tool, just to make it super simple, all right, at this point, I just want to measure the retracement, and I don't have a valid point B until we get a bearish candle on the H1. All right, so at this point, what are we seeing? We're still just continuing to see bullish momentum. And mind you, I'm scaling in on the lower time frames on these areas. So like, let me just go to M15 real quick. Set the chart. You're not even seeing 23/6s. So as I'm seeing this much momentum, and we're just continuing to roll and roll and roll, I'm not even getting higher lows. I'm taking 1.0 trades as well, because those other previous trades don't even exist at this point. I'm trading off the equity. I'm scaling in off the equity. I wasn't adding like 10 trades all at the beginning. I only added 2 at the beginning, and then I was progressively adding 2 in based off the momentum. We were getting just such a great push. The dollar was very strong. And once again, as I go back to H1 and I maintain this order, we're still not even getting a higher low. So once again, there's no reason for us to exit the trade. The only reason we should ever get out of a trade is if we're happy and content with the profit, or the market is showing us a reason to get out, which is the same reason I'm still in the trade. I'm in the same trade right now that I was last week. Let me see what we're floating right now. Yeah, I'm floating 60,000 on the second move. My account is at 63,000 in equity. So my whole game plan and goal specifically with this build was, and I had it in my mind, $500 to 100,000. Okay, I can see everyone trying to, yeah, okay, perfect. I'm glad everyone can see. All right, so let's fast forward. All right, we're still just getting new highs. Once again, is there any reason to exit? Is the market giving us any reason to exit? Not just that, another reason I had entered more buys is because when I see this bullish close above the 50, once again, when price was below the 50 moving average, we're seeing a lot of sells. We're seeing lower lows and lower highs. We're seeing lower lows, right? 23 sixes, we're seeing a lot of lows. We're seeing counter trend sells. But over here on the daily time frame, I'm seeing higher highs and higher lows, meaning I'm seeing there's more buyers in the market on the higher time frame. So after we got a 61.8 retracement, I'm saying, you know what? This is a great buy to take. I'm going to take it until there's a reason for me to get out. All right. So let me fast forward over here. All right, we finally got a bearish candle. So that kind of, we'll use this bearish wick just because this candle doesn't provide, there's no wick. I mean, we could go all the way down here, but you guys will see we still aren't getting any retracement. Price is just continuing to smash and create new highs. So once again, my rule, if there's not a reason to exit the market, why would I exit? Okay. All right, perfect. This is great. Great teaching point. We have our first valid point B. We have a high, right? Price reached a high. And we also have a retracement to a 38.2 level. Okay, so I'm going to now mark this retracement, this 38.2 level. We know with our fibs, that means we have a true valid higher low. Okay, this is important because if the market is going bullish, then we're expecting this, right? We can't expect price to just go up, 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 and never retrace. It has to retrace. It has to breathe. So now that we're on the 38.2, we want to see how does price react to this area. Let's fast forward. All right. Now that might have scared a lot of people. Some people might have closed because they saw price push down. It wicked and touched the 50%. But then what happened? It closed back above the 38.2 area. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing a bullish variation. This is good. Buyers are taking back control. This is giving me confidence. It's letting me know we might have a true higher low. Now, something that's important to understand is we don't have a true higher low until price right here breaks this previous high. That's just my rule, right? This isn't a higher low. If price comes to here and comes back down, it has to break this high or at least respect that high for us to say, all right, this is a valid area. All right, it just broke that high. Okay. Now, why is this important? Once price breaks that high, what is that for some of my students that have been here for a while? Put in the chat, why is it important that we broke that high? What can we now do with our fibs? What can we now do with our Fibonacci? This is where I want to see if we can modify. Yes, exactly. Move it. Exactly. So now what becomes our point A? What retracement level becomes our point A? 38. Yes, there it goes, Dimes. There it goes. Yes, Jonathan. 38. 38.2. The reason that the 38.2 becomes our new point A is because of the fact that we had created that higher low. 23.6 is a consolidation / continuation area. We don't count that as a higher low. We want to see 38.2 respected. We saw that respected. It broke that high. So now at this point, we can now pull out a new fib from the wick of this 38.2 to the high. All right. Now keep in mind, we still have projection areas too. So because price respected that 38.2 area, you see there are projections over here of the -27 and the -6218. Now, the only time I would use those projections is if I'm actually trading off the H1. If I'm trading off the H1, then I could say that's my projection. But what time frame am I trading off, guys? You know me. I'm looking off the daily, right? I'm looking off, okay, if we just respected 61.8, then guess what? Our real projections are up here at 142 and 147. All right. Outside of that, because of the move, because of what I'm looking to catch, I'm going to be getting out around 139. You can see our negative 61.8, even on the 4-hour, gives us right around 139, gives us 138.84. So to finish off the first move and just basically, how we came to that conclusion, I'm going to delete the original fib. We now have our new fib. We now have our new point A to point B. All right, let me go ahead and fast forward. And y'all will have to forgive me too. I'm multitasking. I'm letting people in and out of the rooms. I'm over here fast forwarding. So I just, I want to make sure that everyone gets the game. All right, so now we're starting to see, once again, we're seeing price respect the 38.2 area. But once again, the reality is we have our new point A that's down here. And the truth is too, we really want to make sure we mark off this area, because obviously that's where we want to see price respect. But we also have to understand too that price can come to 100% or even 110 or 120. Let's say that you had entered buys off that 38.2 area, then you could have even placed a stop loss at like your 110. So you always want to utilize your 110 as an area that you can just basically have a safe stop in the event that that area breaks. Then you can just say you're wrong. Okay. We see price is still, respects the 38.2, comes back to that high. And this is very important because at this point in my trade, I was actually with James, and James had caught shorts like way up here. James had caught shorts, or yeah, it was even probably higher than this. And I remember at one point down here, he was like 200,000 in profit. Even this area, he might have been, a good amount. I know he was 6 figures plus in profit. And like, I was in my trades, I was floating probably around like 14, 15,000. I think at one point, even as price was retracing down to this area, you can see right here, this is, once again, I want you guys to see this, because like, it's not always going to be pretty. You're all, sometimes you're going to have to say to yourself, am I sticking to my bias? Like, what am I going to do here? The only thing that really kept me in this trade was this right here, price respecting. If price didn't respect this area and it broke through, I probably would have gotten out of the trade and probably been done. Been happy with my $500 to like $8,000. It been good. But because it respected that area, we had NFP come that Friday. We both decided to stick to our bias. And what's cool too, obviously for both of us, is like, even as you see, like price jumps up crazy and I go more into profit, but because his entries were so good way up, he was still in lots of profit on his sells. So I know he closed out over 100,000 as price came back down here that next week. So I want to show you guys too, even with this, we now have a new point A, point B, because price just broke the high. So we're going to go from this wick right here to this wick up here. All right. And same thing. We maintain. All right. And then I just want to put a vertical line, because for me, by the end of this week, let's see here, August 2022. Let me see here. I just want to check the calendar real quick and make sure. Let's see here. Would have been August 12th. Yeah, look. Right there. All right. All right, fast forward. At this point, you guys can see we're not really seeing price do a whole lot at this point. At this point, you're seeing price is really just respecting this area. See more people joining. Let me make sure I add them. Perfect. All right. Keep fast forwarding. All right. So let me fast forward, because this was actually August 10th. So that was actually 2 days. So that was the Monday after I had closed. All right. So let me pull up the screenshot of me closing and withdrawing. And once again, this is another prime example of just listening to your intuition. So for me specifically, let me see here. Share screen. For me specifically, there's been other times in my career. Put a 1 just real quick. I want to make sure you guys can see that. I know I keep hopping screen to screen. You guys can see that. Perfect, perfect. So yeah, you can see these areas. I wanted you to see not only like some of the exits, 135.03, 135.03, 135.03. And I'm sure a lot of you had seen the video of when I was closing out. So James was with me. All right, I see some people are seeing it, some people are saying nothing. You should be able to see the screen. But I mean, I'm only going to be on the screen for like another a minute or two. I really just wanted to show you guys the exit 135.03. I was with James. It was on Friday. And we had just left the destroying event. So we had actually just like finished having a good time out there. I was throwing, doing all that. And for me, I was like, you know what? I started this week at $500. I'm floating, I'm floating around 20 some thousand, like, 22,000. At that point, I was like, you know what? I'm happy. Like, yeah, exactly. At that, yeah, exactly. 26,000. I was happy with 26,000. $500 to 26,000. I still saw the overall move bullish, but I was happy. So, all right, close it again, open it. Let me see. Oh, you're talking about the Zoom. Yeah, facts. Nah, good looks, Mac. So yeah, at that point, I'm like, bet, let me just go ahead and take 20,000 out, load back 6,000 and leave 6,000 in my account. And I wanted to show you guys this to show that even somebody like myself, I still lose. It's not like I don't lose. It's just all about how you handle the losses. So from the 6,000, I lost 3K, right? I lost $100 on a break even. You can see I just rolled my stop to break even. And I had another break even on some buys. So prematurely trying to buy. Over here, I hopped in some buys. But once again, I didn't give myself longer than 30 pips to be wrong. That's where, once again, a lot of people, they'll hold their positions and get stopped out or margin called because they won't just cut the loss short. Cut the loss short, let the winners ride. So I closed out. I'm down like 3,000. I was trying to take those counter trend sells. And I'm once again, like the difference of 5 pips. If I'm not happy with it, if I'm not like absolutely in love with the movement, then sometimes I'll just take my loss. I also had to keep in mind too, that at this point, I'm already up 20,000. I started with 500. I'm already up 20,000. So I'm like, all right, bet. So from here, now I'm going to fast forward to the next entry. Let me go ahead and make sure I share the screen back so you guys can see. You guys can see, put a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen again. And don't worry, I only have one more screenshot left to show y'all. Everything else is going to be chart work, and then I'm gonna do Q&A. And then I also got my boy Cody on here tonight. He's gonna break down some oil trades he took. It's all about the free game, guys. That's it, like period. Like it's like I said, there's no sale, it's nothing coming on the back end. I'm literally here to drop free game. I know Cody's excited to do the same. I just want to help people level up because like we all have to keep in mind, we didn't even have the opportunity to trade until like 2012. Like iPhones weren't even really out until 2011, 2012, 2013. Like the concept of it all is we didn't have access. So if we're only in 2022, we have to really understand like the power of this and where we can all go to together. Let me go ahead and reset the chart back. Perfect. So a prime example of anything can happen in the market. I would be lying if I said I could foresee or predict that this was going to happen. I didn't know this was going to happen. I wasn't expecting this level of retracement. You can even see right here at this point, that would be no longer valid. It's breaking through. But once again, it's like, let's see how it closes. Let's see how does price react. It comes back above. So these are things that I definitely keep in mind too, because on the higher time frame, like the 4-hour or daily, we might just be seeing another higher low, which ultimately is what we ended up seeing, 50%, another higher low, right? We tested that area. We had to settle. So that's ultimately what we got. But once again, back on the H1, we're seeing price respect this area. Now, mind you, I'm not taking trades. I'm on tour. So because I closed the 20,000 out, I'm being very decisive. I'm getting stopped out on like, or I'm closing my own trades. Like I was showing you guys on that last screenshot on some premature buys. Like, I don't know, maybe I would try to take a buy off this retest. But once again, if price doesn't go in my favor and I'm not seeing something just like really pop out to me spectacular, then, I'm not really too interested. So at this point, this is where I got my entry. I'm gonna have to go down to the lower time frame on the M15. Okay, so once again, I'm seeing price respect this channel. I know over here, this area on the H1 was our 100%. So I know that that was our real support. I'm seeing this support get respected. At this point, all I'm looking for is one of these previous levels of resistance to get broken. So I see this area here get broken, and I'm already ecstatic because I'm in the trade. What candle did I get in on? This one. This candle right here, this 15-minute bullish engulfing candle. And at that point, it was enough. We're crossing over that moving average. I see that we're going to be testing this area. My stop loss could easily be right below this higher low. And yes, I'm gonna post the recording on YouTube, so that way people can get the free game on there as well. I know it's a lot to cover on the YouTube, so I mean on this one call. So I'll make sure everyone gets that. Hold on one second. Cody's calling. Yo. Yeah, bro. I mean, we're on the call right now. It's like 100 people deep on here. We're like halfway on here. So if you just want to hop on, like around like 9:45. Oh yeah, it's maxed out. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna post to YouTube, so it's all good either way. I'm not sure, bro. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If anything, I'll just wrap it up because I know I still got to go into the second trade and everything as well. It's already 9:37, so yeah, exactly. But yeah, bro, I'll hit you after. All right, my fault, yo. So let's see here. As this crossover occurs and we go above the moving average, from there at that point, I'm like, all right, bet, like we're good to go. I'm looking to get in buys. Once again, same exact concept as I showed you guys previously. We're gonna go from this wick. So this wick, we get a 50% retracement. That's letting me know that's a good opportunity to get in. And then from there, I'm adding more entries on a retest. I'm wanting to see us retest that area. As we retest that area, I'm adding more entries. And something, once again, is just put minor levels of resistance or support to really just keep it clean for yourself to see over time. Once again, it has to respect. If we're not seeing a close back below this moving average, if we're not seeing a close back below this previous resistance, then it could be acting as support. And boom, then we start to get some real push. And once we start to push like that, then ultimately that gets me excited because not only are we above the moving average, but now at this point, I can maintain my orders using what? That sub fib. So we're going to go from point A to point B. 1 hour time frame or even M30. And we're going to be seeing the same thing collectively across the board. So how do we maintain? Exactly like I just talked about. And from there, you can delete some of your random lines as well. But maintaining is just super simple. Super simple. Just maintaining your order and saying, is there a reason for me to exit? We just broke the high. We didn't even get a 23.6. Put a one in the chat if this is making sense. Like if a lot of this is at least making sense, if maintaining the orders, because that's really, if I can give you guys the confidence to maintain orders and be able to, all right, perfect. I'm glad some people's getting it. I understand the numbers. Like I got to keep it a stack. If 100 people is on this call, the reality, the numbers of the success rate of trading is not high. It's only going to be 20 to 30 people at most on this call that end up like being profitable consistently. So it's just, just the concept. But let's see here. As price continues to break the highs, you're seeing once again, we can just continue to move our fibs. Gonna fast forward. And once again, you want to have a good move. Like look at this. Not every move is going to be like this. So it's a combination of knowing what I'm doing, but then also being confident enough to still be able to like analyze. All right, cool. We got in on the buys. We saw that this area here was where we were seeing retracement. This area here was our first high, but then you can see we didn't even get a 23.6. So now from there, we're just going to continue to, let's see here, admit, perfect. All right, from there, we're just going to continue to create those new point Bs. All right. So once again, it takes a big move. Like it takes, for these type of results, it takes a big move, but those big moves happen, like some of my other biggest days were right in the middle of COVID, and those were massive moves. But once again, you guys saw the break of the channel, the retest, right? And then we just continued to push. So before I show you where we're currently at, let me go ahead and stop that share and show you guys this last image. And then this will be the last time, second to last time I ask you guys to put ones in. I just want to make sure you guys. And once again, shout out to everyone on this call. We got 100 people on this call. The call was maxed out at 100. I got the paid Zoom, so I don't know why it won't let us go beyond 100, but it was maxed out. So the people who actually got to catch this and are going to get to ask questions for like the last 15 minutes, shout out to y'all for being here. Like, y'all have a seat that somebody else wanted to have, and y'all showed up. So it's like that. I promise you guys, that's the same as trading. It's like just being on time, literally just being somewhere at the right time. And for those of you who are taking notes, for those of you guys who are going to watch the replay, it's all love on my side. So once again, the same channel I showed you guys is right here. See this channel? The same channel I showed you on TradingView was what I was looking at on lower time frames. You can see on the H4, I'm looking at the same thing. And once we crossed above this 50 moving average right here, I'm even more excited. What did I do? I went point A on the H4 to point B on the H4. I saw a 38.2 wick. I didn't even add entries there. Why? Because we're just getting 23.6s. We were just getting continuations. I wasn't even getting enough retracement to be able to say, all right, let me go ahead and add entries. Instead, I waited till we got to a high. And here's some key knowledge, some key gain. I had 15 lots down here that was already risk-free. When I added entries upon this bullish momentum, I only added another 10. So I didn't go 15 and 15. I went at 15 and 10. So that way I would space out the risk. So that way, even if price did retrace back to 38.2 like it did previously, it's not like I would have been sweating it, right? I would have been okay. Can see anything. All right, y'all can see y'all can see this screen or no?
Yes.
Okay, lit. Yeah, I'm sorry for some of the difficulty of people seeing it. Hopefully on the recording, it's no issues. Nonetheless, I'm savvy enough with Premiere. I can whip it together and make sure that people see what they need to see. But what I'm really just trying to show and what I wanted to show is the receipts. It's like the only difference in me and a lot of people is just my patience and my confidence in what I'm looking at. Like I've only been trading since June 26, 2017. So if it's 2022, I'm saying to myself realistically, this is 5 years I've been doing this shit. And the first year, I wasn't even really, to be honest and transparent, I wasn't even really trading. I was more so focused on just trying to like learn the basics. I wasn't even really trading like that. I had mere traders and other people trading for me. And I had to see them lose enough money to say, all right, you know what? Let me try to do this myself. Because if the money's gonna get lost, it might as well be on my hands. Yeah, exactly. Juan just made someone's salary in 2 weeks. And that's not to flex. That's not a flex. You guys know I wouldn't be doing a free Zoom if this was to flex. That's to show people what's possible. Like, you guys had the same MT4. You guys had the same $500. You guys have the same USDJPY. So it's like, just to go to show, like, I've been doing this 5 years. Your time is coming. The marathon continues. It's not like you need a prop firm. But even for myself, I got prop firms that I'm hooking up to EAs. It's like, if I can trade my own capital and then have other capital making me money and doing that, why would I not? Right? So week one, $500, just to give a recap before we fast forward to where we're currently at in price, why I'm still holding. And then I do a Q&A, because I like to keep it under an hour, guys. I have severe ADD. I know my brother does. We both do. Like, we both have something that people have told us is a weakness. I think is both our strength, because our mind is all over the place, but it's because we have so many gifts and abilities. It's like we just see things differently. And for me, it's like, I view this as a video game. This trading shit is a video game. You get good enough at this game, you'll start to set high scores. You'll start to push yourself to levels that you didn't know you could go. And this is a prime example. So the recap, once again, week one, $500, took 500 to 26,000. Closed out at the end of that week simply on the fact that I was happy with the profit. Once again, don't get greedy. Take the money. Is it easier to take 26,000 to 100,000 or take 500 to 100,000? What do you guys think would be easier if you had to do it? Would you rather trade 20,000 or $500? Correct. I agree. 20,000. Exactly. 26 to be precise. Exactly. The reason we say that is because it gives you more breathing room as far as the capital is concerned. You have more trades. You have more lifelines. Like, you have more ops. With this specifically, it was like, all right, bet. You know what? I'm going to take the 20,000 out. He said you made right. I mean, I know it looks easy. I get it, guys. It's not. It's like when we watch, we seen Free Solo where Buddy climbs the mountain and he has no ropes, and like, he makes that shit look easy. I mean, he didn't make it look easy, but he made it look like it was so routine. But the reason he made it look routine is because he has prepared those hand movements time and time and time again. He's done those moves with rope time and time and time again. He prepared for years. Exactly. I've been doing this for years now. Like, my friends know I joke around with them. They know, like, I joke around like I'm a crack addict when it comes to the charts, because my phone is filled with screenshots of literally just like setups and different moves that I've taken and trades that I've taken. It's just charts and charts and charts and screenshots and screenshots. And it's the same thing that made me great in football, is I would watch hours and hours of film. I would know my playbook. I would look for setups every time a corner stood a certain way, every time a safety had his feet a certain way, every time a linebacker lined up a certain way. I would look for tendencies. What's cool about trading, there's nobody attacking you. It's you and you. It's you versus you. You take the trade. You decide how long you want to ride it for. You decide how long you want to close it, right? So, exactly, attention to detail. So, all right, you guys saw the floating, and those screenshots were just taken at 8:55. All right, so those were taken an hour ago. Actually, no, I won't exit the replay mode. All right, I'm gonna share the screen back on the Safari again. All right, I'm done flopping, so this will be my last time you guys can see my screen. We good? This will be my last time, I promise you guys. Appreciate y'all's patience. All right, lit. Everyone can see this. Yep. All right, lit. Okay, so over here, once again, on the I'm gonna go to H1 just for the safety of time. We see we broke through this channel. All right. At this point, we see price is just jumping, right? jumping. We now have a valid point B because we have bullish followed by bearish. Okay. Scrunch this down just so we can all see, make it real crystal clear. The only thing that attacks you while trading is Powell. And for those of y'all that don't know, he's talking about Chairman Powell. Oftentimes when he speaks, the market moves. All right. But once again, the market shouldn't give you fear. You should just respect it. Like, it's, once again, you shouldn't be fearful if you have enough confidence of what's going on and what you're looking at. It's not something that you should always be afraid of, right? So once again, what do we get? A point A, a point B, and price just broke. All right, so what retracement level becomes our new point A? In the chat. This is how simple this game is. I mean, at least from a technical side. Trading is 80% psychology, 20% tech. Exactly, Max. 38. 38 becomes the new point A. I love teaching athletes. Athletes get it fast. Why? Because in sports, we don't have time for you to wait. I might have to teach you something in game. You might have to, like, it might be second quarter and we talk about something we didn't talk about in practice. You got to be able to take that, learn it, put it into your game, and keep it moving. Trading is the same thing. Like, once you learn something, you take it, implement it, you keep it moving. From here, we have a new point A. We go at the wick of that bullish move. Now, mind you guys, more opportunities to buy. You guys saw my screenshots as I was scaling in. I'm literally taking more trades, more buys on that 38.2. As price closed above this price closed above this resistance, that's just making me happier. I see price is above the moving average over here, even better, right? Over here on the daily time frame, we're closing above the moving average. That is phenomenal, right? The daily time frame, price is closing above. That's getting me excited. So yep, this is recorded. Don't worry, it's going to be posted on YouTube. From here, what are we getting, guys? More point Bs. Nothing is happening. No retracement. So is there a reason for me to close? Put the two reasons. I want to see who's been paying attention on this call. What are the two reasons why we close? I just want to see who this is sticking with. What are two reasons we'll close this order? Happy with profit? Right. Happy with profit, or the market shows us a reason to get out, right? Exactly. Happy with profit, or market goes against your rules. Exactly. So right now, is the market going against our rules? We're in buys. We got a 38.2. That's a true high or low. Price breaks the previous high. Is anything going against our rules? Nope. And yeah, I agree, Sway. Intuition. You got to listen to your gut as well. Sometimes if there's something deep down inside of you that says, I'll be more upset if I lose this floating profit than if it continues to go and I close, then just take the bag, right? Take the bag. Even right now, I could easily close out 60,000 and say to myself, you know what? That's 82,000, or actually like around 87,000 in the last two weeks. That's pretty good, right? But once again, because I took 20,000 and because we're not seeing any real reason for me to exit, we saw a wick down to 38.2, but did price close at 38.2? No. That time it did. But what happened? Same thing that happened down here is happening up here, right? Let's see. Price is respecting that area again. What happens? What do? I'm adding more buys as price respects this for the third time, right? We got one touch, two touch, three touch, 38.2. What becomes our new point A? What becomes our new point A? And Eddie, yes, I have stop losses. I don't always play stop losses. I have mental stop losses. That's why 38.2, exactly. 38.2. 38.2 becomes the new point A. And that's where we're currently at here. We go from the wick to where price broke. We saw this was our previous high. I do have mental stop losses, but like, for example, if I enter a buy here, my stop loss could be below this 38.2. It could be like here at 134.52. Like, that's only about 30 pips, 40 pips, right? So you just always want to remember that if you're having a mental stop loss, there needs to be a reason for it. Because once again, what happened at this 38.2? Price, what did price test at the 38.2 as well? The MA, exactly. Damn, you guys are on it. How can you sleep? I sleep great. I sleep just fine. Like, you got to keep in mind, if you can buy crypto and hold crypto for 3 to 5 years, why can you not buy USDJPY and hold it for 2 weeks? If you can buy real estate and hold real estate for 1 to 5 years, why can you not sell Euro USD for 1 to 2 months? I don't put an SL on the trades that I open higher unless I roll the SL into break even. So like, that's how I sleep. Because, for example, these trades I took down here, once price was already above this 38.2, I'm rolling my stops to break even. All of those trades were risk free. So at that point, now all I'll be doing is taking more buy opportunities with less risk. So if price does come back down, then if anything, it's like a break even, because I had more leverage, and all I'd be looking at that point is a minus, 5.0 lot versus minus 10 lots. So all I'm doing is scaling it on the move. I like trading I like trading UJ because I have confidence with this pair. I've been trading. This is one of the first pairs that I ever started trading. I have the pair like literally tatted on my hand. Like, I love the dollar. I love the yen. I love just like, it's pretty clean. So honestly, we're seeing a lot of 38.2s. We're not seeing anything crazy. For the most part, it's just hella clean. Just something I like to trade. And so once again, you guys can see, like, this whole time all we would be doing is just marking out the point A to point B. We're not even getting retracement. Once again, this now becomes our point A all the way up here. Okay. And we're seeing price retrace. Price didn't even come to the 23.6, but we can still at least, once again, random line. Keep in mind, this is the H1 time frame. And yeah, just like that, we've literally caught up to where we're currently at. So what are we going to do now with our point B? Put in a chat. What are we going to do now with the point B? Move it. Exactly. Modify. I'm going to modify it to here because we now have a new high. All right. Now, when I took a screenshot, that's when I put the screenshot that I sent you or showed you guys was right here at current price, 137.13. That screenshot, we were floating, let me see here. We were floating 57,000. Right now I'm floating 59,000. So only an extra $2,000 in profit from when I took the screenshot. But once again, what's the target, right? Like, what are we actually looking to go do? On H4, we haven't even got a bearish candle. On H4, we're just continuing to push. I have my target up here at 139. And the reason I have my target at 139 is a couple of things. For one, we know previously price came over and touched 139. That's our previous high. We know on the daily time frame over here, we respected the 61.8 and then created a higher low around the 50, and we just closed back above the moving average. So if, like I said, on the higher time frame, I'm still expecting UJ buys all the way up to even as high as 147. But what are my two rules as far as closing? I'm either seeing a reason to get out or I'm happy with the profit. When price gets to 139, hell, even price gets to 138.50. If I'm happy with the profit, I might just close. And once again, withdraw, I don't know, 50, 60,000 and keep like repeating the process. Like, that's all it is, rinse and repeat. So that breaks down an hour of breakdowns. Once again, guys, think about it like this. If I'm able to break down 2 weeks of moves and it takes me an hour to really like in depth go into what all took place, and that was just modifying it. Don't think of, like, you got to remember the psychology of holding. And I'm with a good friend of mine, James Storm, and he's in shorts and I'm in buys, and like, we had conflicting biases, but we still had enough respect for each other to understand, like you take your move, I'm gonna take my move. And the fact that we both ended up making money on our moves lets you know you can have different bias and still be profitable. Like that's what's so dope about it. It's the fact that we both ended up making money. You know, it's honestly lit. So I know it's 9:59. I think we got Cody on the call too. The only thing I'm worried about is if I make him host, then um it might stop the recording. So Cody, if you're down, I'm gonna if you can unmute yourself. Cody, if you're down, let's just do like a Q&A to wrap it up. I know people have been on here for like an hour, so let's do like a 15-20 minute Q&A. You guys we'll both answer. Cody, can you hear me, bro? You on there?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, so just for people who aren't aware, this is my boy Cody Pippen. He also played quarterback, like prestige quarterback, one of you know, a brother from another mother, someone who we always joke around and say long lost type deal. This man has, you know, touched big bags in the market. Somebody who I was actually learning a lot from when I was just getting started in my journey. So yeah, any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. And you guys are gonna get a response from two trading quarterbacks, you know. And once again, Cody, what do you think, bro? Do you think quarterback has helped you in the market?
Yeah, and you can't believe how much it has. I mean, realistically, just because of the amount of patience you have to have and just being able to do it using the market now is more of like, you know, you're already experienced just because of high school and moving into college. Well, I mean, you got to play all 4 years. I played a year and tore my ACL. But
Right. But even that's a prime example of like,
yeah,
you know, as an
patience,
athlete, it's not guaranteed, you know, like you could have all the talent in the world and something happen. And
yeah,
just like that.
absolutely. Is this?
So yeah, let me see here. How do we see the videos that are posted? I'm gonna turn my video on, show you guys. I'm in here. We're in the lab right now.
I'm dead, my boy.
Haha, yes, sir, bro. I got the Turtle Beaches on, the blue light lenses. You gotta take care of yourself, you know, you gotta
You're
take
not
care of
wrong
yourself.
about that. You're not wrong.
How are the zappers? Honestly, I don't know how the zappers are. Once again, I got cut from that league. But it's all love, you know. They're even messaging me now talking about bringing me back. You know, I'm telling them like I'm good. You know, at this point, I feel like I've done everything football wise that I want to do. If anything, now I kind of want to transition more to, you know, like documenting games and doing more quarterback related stuff.
Yeah,
Any
man,
tips on
I was-
psychology of trading? What do you think, Cody? What are some tips for psychology?
oh man, psychology is what I struggled most of. I mean, realistically, just because of the fear of the market, just in general, losing the amount of money you're going to lose here and there, and the money you can't lose, the money you can't afford to lose, and losing consistently. My first year, geez, man, it was the worst year. I quit trading 3 different times. So as far as like your psychology, you got to be dedicated to it. You got to keep moving forward. Like even when you take those losses, you can't take that, you know, and you got to take that and brush it off and keep moving forward. Every next play, next play, next play.
Next play.
I mean, realistically, moving from football, you know, it's the same thing. Like I've thrown picks. I've thrown actually my senior year against the rival school. We lost against them. I threw back-to-back picks on the last 2 drives of the game. Like it doesn't get no more,
Sheesh.
you know, worse in that situation. And then to lose on top of that to your rival school, like I ate myself up about that and for a good minute. It's like you just gotta keep moving forward. I went to college and had a chip on my shoulder still. I'm still that man, you know, I'm still him. But overall, you know, you just gotta, the trading is just damn, man. Sometimes it feels like it gets the best of you. And it's like, man, you gotta know that if you've done it once, you can do it again. It's really just where is your brain at, where you mentally. If you're in a bad space, I would never be on a trade. I would never be trading. I gotta take my step back.
I agree, bro. I mean, even the concept of like you said, next play is really how you have to look at it. For me, the thing that kept me going was just the if not this, then what? Like I kept saying to myself, what else is out there?
No
Like what
doubt.
else can I do that's gonna allow me to press buttons and make 100,000 in 2-3 weeks?
No doubt.
Like what? Like I don't know. I mean, I get there's other stuff like maybe drop shipping. Like I get there's other stuff, but for me specifically, for me to only be like it's just me pressing the buttons, bro. Nobody else. Like,
Yeah.
and so that should excite people more so than and like kind of talk on the difference in having $500 that you know you can risk versus like because I know that's like for me that $500 I didn't care about at all. Like I could have lost that 500 and not have been tripping at all. And I get it's different stages of trading because there's been times where I put my last 500 in.
Yeah.
I need this to be the one. and then I would grow it to like 12, 1300, and then blow the entire account and be playing my little violin.
You know, been there, done that. I did that with a whole income tax, like a whole income tax check, 3K. Like, oh yeah, I got it. Ran into like 9,500. Already started thinking like, all right, I really want to buy this car, put a down payment for this. You know what I'm saying? Pulled out. I was like, I need to at least make another 3K. And within, I think 36 hours, I had like $400 in that account.
My God.
Like it was just revenge
Say
trade.
that again, bro. This you put 36,000.
No, I put no, it was 3,600. I started with
I
it
was
was an
about to
income
say
tax check.
this
I
man put
ran it.
3,600
Yeah, but I
and
mean,
within
I ran it up to like 10 bands almost, and I'm thinking like I'm gonna take 5 out to put the down payment on this car, and I'm gonna take this out. You know what I mean? I'm already envisioning
facts.
what I'm gonna spend the money on,
Yep.
and then one US 30 loss after another. Man, it ate me all night, like all night. Just kept going back,
And
going
all
back.
you can do is just keep checking your MC4, like you keep looking at it like it's not real. Like you wake up the next day thinking like, oh, it's just a bad dream. Hopefully.
You know, and it just keeps going. And it's my revenge trading my first year was the worst thing. Like, man, that was I'm really impatient. Like, it moves like same thing, like more of like relationships too. Like I'm impatient when it comes to like not solving the problem now, you know? So it's like the moment I lose something, it's like, all right, well, I got to make that money back at least. Like, I don't even want to make money tonight. I just want to make my money back. And it would get worse and worse and worse. I learned over the years though, that shit took a minute, but yeah.
Facts. Nah, that's facts. I see a lot of good questions in here.
Yeah.
One question is Mac. He said, when do you know how to change your bias on the fib from bearish to bullish? So it depends on two things. Number one, the time frame. So like if you're on the 1 hour time frame, your Fibonacci retracement, those levels might be different than the daily. So like that's where you always have to say to yourself, what time frame am I actually using a main fib on? So if on your 4 hour time frame you got a 38.2 respected and then it goes and creates a new high, let's say we're talking bullish. If price breaks back below that 38.2 and closes below that 38.2, because remember that's our new point A now. So the only time we're really changing our bias is if those point A's get broken. If that structure gets broken, then we want to see how does it respond. Like, was it just an induction? Did it like just wick below and then close back above that 100%? Because you guys saw that on the chart, on UJ chart. It was like a lot of times you'll get an induction and then price still go the direction that you wanted it to. So
Yeah. I was gonna say that we really just been bouncing through the same thing with oil. Like everything I've been focused on this last week has all been about oil because the move has been so smooth with just using fibs and then trends. Like I've been using a lot of demand areas, but same thing, just resetting your fibs on the next level, like constantly. But I use different fibs, so it's just like, you know, sometimes I have different Fibonacci colors, so it's like some of them, you know, I'm going to use on a 15-minute time frame versus an H4 time frame, make sure, and they can be completely different. You know, so you're saying bias, like you and James, y'all were using same exact scenario, one's buying, one's selling. So like this last week, I have the whole overall bias, like, dude, oil is gonna, man, right now, I mean, it tested literally on the 91.75. I caught a sell limit on it and it literally hit it. We were in drawdown for maybe about 3 minutes and then 200 plus pip drop. Like it was crazy. And I'm sitting there looking at this like, all right, the overall view of this is going to go to like 84, like $83 on the barrel. So everybody should expect a little bit of gas price drop is here real soon. But overall, like that bias of it's going to drop down to 83, but it's at 88 too. And I'm buying. I'm like, man, this is a different kind of counter trend trade, but we took it for 280 pips and that was a counter trend trade.
right.
That shit
Yeah, I mean, when it goes, bro. Those are the
yeah,
best
oil
ones.
is different though, man. Oil this last couple of weeks has been like, I wake up in the morning excited, like what did it,
The
what
the
happened?
volatility, you know, you're
It's
actually gonna ride a
insane,
wave.
man. Dude, I dropped a one line, cleared like $3,800 between like two different. I'm like, dude, this is different right now. Like oil is crushing.
And for like any people who like watching TV shows or like series, I definitely for the trading niche, I recommend a show called Billions. Just because once again, like when you're hearing traders talk about, you know, losing or winning hundreds of millions of dollars on a single trade, then me sitting here showing you guys 61,000, the cool thing is more so the build, like the fact that from what it started, the story of the build is what's dope. Like I get that, but like we have to keep in mind this is 61,000 out of $1 trillion a day market. Like my affirmations are I'm a 10-figure trader. Not I am a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7, 10. Because I know it's possible. Like I know it's like if we look at these markets as surfing, the reason why Cody is liking oil is because he's seeing real waves.
Yeah, no doubt. Scaling has been like you're saying that 500, dude. I ain't gonna lie, dude. You my boy, dog. But I've been sitting back just like this man is untouchable right now, dude. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's lit,
I
bro.
started this. I started this little $3,000 account. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm up because I'm at like 14. Like, oh yeah, and I'm watching this. Like, bro, what am I not doing right now? Like, what the fuck?
Nah, bro, you're lit. Like everyone thinks that because like if you catch a wave in Hawaii and it's a lit 20-footer, that doesn't like just because I'm in Portugal riding one of them waves in Nazarene right now, like it doesn't take away from
Yeah,
the way that you caught. You know, like that's the beauty of it is like we're all, for example, if someone takes $500 to 3K and then withdraws 2,000 and that $2,000 changes their life, that's that wave is even bigger than the one I'm on right now.
for real though. You're not
Real
wrong.
deal. Like that's the beauty of it is I just don't want like I know how much comparison steals joy from people. And it's like I could say, oh well, because this 61,000 isn't like when Q had $1 million week.
Yeah,
You see how quickly comparing will steal joy from you? It's like,
yeah,
nah, bro.
immediately.
I'm hype as
I'm
fuck off this build
excited.
because yeah, this was my build. It was $500. I'm proud of how if I didn't close out the money from last week, most of my orders would have got stopped out and like break even. I wouldn't have made money. So who knows if I even I would have made like 6K because I had everything risk free at that point.
Yeah,
But once again, the difference in 26,000 and 6K, like that's how that would have an effect on your mood. Like
yeah,
because you start to mentally, oh, I'm gonna do this with the bread. I'm gonna do this and this and this. And like we've all been there, you know. So once again, don't get too confident with the floating profit and don't get too distraught with the floating drawdown. Like just keep in mind it's not over until it's over. Let
absolutely.
me see. Let's have you answer a couple more of these questions. Let's see here. What hours do you start taking your trades? Cody, when do you usually trade?
Well, for oil, I mean, everything's a little different. I mean, forex side, everything. I start everything from the daily and just kind of get my just supply and demand areas overall. Just where am I going to be in the general direction? Because a lot of this information, that's so much information is. I mean, the market in the past is not most of it's not relevant. Most of it is only relevant within now time. So I would start definitely on like the daily, get my supply and demand areas, and then crunch down H4. But I mean, as far as like oil, it's a different ball game. She's a different monster. So I mean, it's the kind of, I mean, I'll definitely start on the daily and just get my overall direction, the trend, and then I'm down here in these gritty hours, like 15-minute down to 30 minutes. I use H4 to get my harmonic together as far if there's any kind of nice pattern setting up or any kind of like I use pivot points now too, and pivot points on low time frames really they're there, but it's like it's not helping with the overall move. So I use pivot points mainly on like H1, H4, so it'll give me like the overall direction. Okay, so if pivot point is here, resistance level 1 is 30 pips out, but I see support level is 50 to 80 pips. Like, okay, you got the general direction. Like it's gonna go to the downside this week, you know. But overall, pivot points is preset every week, so it kind of gives you that direction. So I start pivot points at H4, get a look, and then I'm down H1, 30-minute, 15-minute oil is it's fun to watch because you get to see it in live. Like you're watching, okay, there's 20, 30, 40 pips. Like, wow, this is crazy. Like
Right.
it moves. Like
Just
you wouldn't
driving
believe
faster cars, bro. Like that's how it's like
what.
even if we don't think about the market as a wave, even if we think about the market as different cars or whatever it may be, or like even sea creatures, like I view UJ and EU as like just bigger whales, like because they're not gonna move as fast, but like when usually when they decide where they're going, usually not always, but usually
Yeah,
like that's the way it's going, and it's just like you got to add bigger lots to really see substantial gains. But like on a week or 2 weeks where you actually get a real move, it's like money can be made, even on 30 pips, a 10 lot, 30 pips, three bands.
man.
It's like,
Yeah.
if that's the goal. So people should just always say to themselves, like, what type of build am I going for? Am I going for an aggressive build where I don't care about this account? Or am I in a prop firm or something else where like I'm not looking to make fast money. I'm looking to trade my plan and periodically grow this account over time. And that's where it's like, as long as people can be honest with themselves about that, you could really do anything. Do you trade London or New York? I know a lot of people are asking like, what time zone do we trade?
I mean, I trade the overlap actually, like going in like 3 to 4. Like the overlap is when you get the most volatility, which is the suckers part for everybody that's on. Like I'm in Houston, so I was upstairs watching a movie when I'm sitting. I'm like, I got to run that state. I forgot this damn. He's an hour in front of me. So,
Right, right.
but as far as like my time frame, like everybody is sleep 3, 4 in the morning, and that's when it's like you need to be most on it for me. But that's because oil is just it moves best in the overlap between the London and New York. So it's like and essentially I trade them both, but I don't execute trades until 3 fucking in the morning most of the time. Or in that, well, now that my signal rooms are good, I'm trying to do it in the daytime so everybody can actually be alert for it. But
Right.
sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So, but yeah, as far as like my time frame, yeah, I'm trying to only stick with the overlap, most volatility.
I mean, the dope part is like you have your routine, and I want everyone from these responses that we're both giving to take that away. Is like, you guys can hear. We don't even need to show you a chart, and we can systematically go through what our process is. And it's like even playing quarterback, we would always have rules: alignment, assignment, footwork. At least when I was at Memphis, that was the checklist
Yeah.
that we had. It's like, where do we align? Are our toes at 5.5? Or if we're in the pistol, our heels need to be at 5, right? Like we need to know where do we align our feet. Then what's our assignment? All right, what do we actually have to look for? Are we reading tag side safety? Are we reading the end? Is it a read option? Are we reading an overhang? Like what are we reading? We need to know our assignment. And then footwork, right? In order for us to actually execute this play, we need to know, are we taking a big 3 drop? Are we doing read option footwork? Like we need to know, what do we do with our feet to put ourselves in success? And with trading, it's the exact same thing. You need to know, what is that strategy? What am I going to consistently go through and look for? And if this happens, then this is what I'm doing. Right. And so even with where I'm at right now in these trades, why am I still floating in profit? Because I'm sticking to my rules. Nothing has told me to exit yet. So from there, I'm just like, it's like some people only, can only run for 10 yards. Some people can run the whole field, 100 yards.
But
So that's biology. Let's see here. Can you give a rundown on how the process was in the beginning? Ups and downs, even life, relationship with people, family doubting you.
man.
He said, man,
We don't have enough time.
right. Nah,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
seriously a
overall
movie.
though, general like thought process through it. The ups and downs are going to be there for anything you go through, but this is going to push you mentally like you wouldn't believe. And everyone I feel like that is actually taken serious, like as actually, I mean, there's a lot of fake ass gurus. So anyone who's actually made $1 out of trading and withdrawn it, and they pay for their actual life and the vehicle, and it comes from that and not from everything else. They'll tell you like they've lost it all. They lost it all. Been in the corner, like, dude, crying yourself out. Like, this sucks. I mean, the psychology part is going to be the worst that you ever go through. I mean, the ups and downs are going to be there, but relationships with my mom was the only person that really like had my back in the whole thing. Like, my mom was always, because I mean, she definitely had the expectation of me going to the NFL and then seeing my best friends going to the NFL. Like, I'm always around everybody. It's just I'm the single man out. I didn't make it, So it's like, how else am I going to make this kind of money? Like I'm smart enough. I got to make something happen. So it's like my mom's the only one that was just always like, yeah, like if it's not you, then who? It's the same thing. Like if anyone else can do it, you can. So my mom was the only one that helped me like stay focused. But everybody else let me know constantly it's a fucking scam. Leave it alone. Everybody in there, the only people that make money is at the top percentage off of you type shit. Like I heard everything for a whole year and a half, and then throwing my whole income tax money after getting like custody of my son, and then being able to get like the child credit and get like an extra, money to throw it in there just for everybody to laugh at me. Basically, I lost it all. I was like, dude, this is fuck, man. I can't even tell someone it's not a scam because I'm like, dude, I don't
Just keep
fuck,
losing and
man. I'm
losing.
losing everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
your relationships are always going to be tested, but the real ones will stick around.
Facts. Yeah, and you have to remember too, like this is something that I always stick with and remind myself is like, people can give you the wrong advice coming from the right place. I know a lot of people have heard me say that, but it's so true. Like your best friend could be trying to tell you like stay away from it just because they don't understand it. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they don't want you to succeed. It's just like they're trying to look out for you the best way they know how. And that doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're right though either, you know? So it's like I had to accept that a lot of people were telling me to stay away from it just because they would do their own research and see it was a high fail rate, or it's, you know, it's brand new and not many people have been trading a long time. Like I understood that they were telling me like, "Hey Jason, if you're trying to climb this mountain without ropes and you fall, like you could get fucked up." And like I understood that though. I understood like, all right, the same thing with football, bro. Like we were told many times, less than a 1% chance of going D1. Like Division 1 full ride scholarship is not high percentage. Going to the NFL, even smaller percentage. So like
Exactly the same.
it's yeah, it's the same. It's like time after time, you're gonna be told in life that there's a high fail rate. That it's really just about how much confidence you have in your ability to actually do that thing. Like, and your confidence just comes from the work that you put in. I promise you, from the experience. Like, even with all the work I put in, I still had to blow accounts. He still had to blow accounts. Even to this day, like to this day, the losses. If the places I plan on going, the losses are only going to get bigger. The places
Yeah.
I plan on going, it's not fun. It's never fun. But it's like, if I plan on being a 10-figure trader, do you know how big those losses are going to look? So that's where once again you can't be consumed by the numbers so much as you have to focus on the process. I focus on the skill. I'm not focused so much on the money. I'm focused on let me make sure I'm executing at a high level and I'm taking trades based off my own bias, not because how much money someone else has made or not made or whatever. It's like live and die on your own sword. That's why you guys see I get on here and I teach for free, because even at some point, if I was providing signals, I know Cody provides signals. It's just the concept of like at some point, if anything ever happens to us, you still want to be self-sufficient. As
Yeah.
a man or woman that's looking to provide for his or her family, you never want to be solely dependent on another person.
Absolutely.
That's why trading is so beautiful. Because
It's
like,
crazy. That's the reason why, like, for my Instagram that I just started up back up it, dude. Literally, I just started thinking about, like, okay, why am I charging? I was charging for signals, and then my course was separate when I was with Imperial and whatnot. So now I started thinking about, like, dude, exactly what you said. Like, you guys need to be self sufficient. So I started talking to people in my group, like, all right, I'm gonna add my course to the signals so that, like, basically you can learn, you can go through the videos and learn it as we call signals. Like, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to do signals forever. I have a bunch of people who have been asking for it. So I'm like, overall, I'm like, you guys need to learn this. Like, it's not the hardest thing to learn. It's like a video game. Once you start playing it enough times, you're gonna get good at it. It's just like it's a thing that it just happens. And trading seriously is like a video game. Like at some point, you're gonna beat the game, but it's gonna be more of a like what you're more satisfied with, not overall. Just because you're gonna always see. I mean, if you guys follow these big traders like Q and whatnot, like they're doing insane numbers. Like that you can only aspire to be, but like Stu, you aspire to be a 10-figure trader. I have more ventures of like I want to be able to have 10 figures in real estate and between my Airbnbs and things like that. So like trading is like once I've done 100K, but on investor accounts. So it's like once I get to the point where I'm doing 100K, 200, 300K on my own trading accounts, then I'm comfortable with that being a source of income and me still focusing on my other businesses that generate me the same kind of wealth almost, but it's a lot smoother. No, not hassle, like, you know. So at the same time, it's really whatever you feel satisfied with. Like
facts. Yeah,
10
facts.
10-figure trader, man. I give you all the praise, my boy, because them
Nah, yeah,
fifty
it's just
thousand
a
dollar
game, bro.
losses,
It's just a game. Like that's all it is. We're just
yeah,
dealing with
it's numbers,
percentages. It's
man.
all numbers, bro. Like, and I can say that honestly from a viewpoint of like, even I was blown away, bro. I posted that Instagram reel, did over 30 million views. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, just
Shocking.
like crazy numbers. You know, I don't know how many likes it did. I don't know. Maybe want to say like over like 6, 7 million likes. It wasn't, you know, it's just the concept of like you realize, all right, the same way I have posts on my Instagram that have 4 likes and I have a post that has 32 million views. Like the numbers are just numbers, bro. It doesn't determine
Yeah,
its value. You know,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's the beauty of it is it doesn't none of it means anything. It only means as much as you decide it means. And so this 60,000 to somebody I understand. You would be for a prime example. I was with a good friend of mine and I showed him we were in New York together and we had just finished the one-on-one tour and we were like on a balcony in New York. I'm smoking a backwood. Like it was, I just
Yeah.
life is good, bro. I'm like I'm just enjoying life. And I showed a good friend of mine how I had just entered these trades. I was just my first 10 lots on the 3K. So once again, you only have about 20 pips to be wrong. Like
Yeah.
you don't there's not much room for being wrong. If it even goes 20 pips in the wrong, it's probably gonna margin call me and that account will be down to like $900 probably. 900. So once again, this is not saying like this is how you should normally trade, but you got to understand like if you're willing to take that kind of risk. To me, I wasn't tripping over losing that bread because I had already took 20,000. You see, it's
Yeah.
all mental. It's all mental. I didn't care about it. I believe strongly enough in the move. I had 10 lots. The reason I'm telling this story is because I showed him when I was floating 3K and he told me I should close. How many times do we hear that, right? You show somebody who doesn't understand trading or whatever it may be, and they're saying close. Why? Because to them, that $3,000 might potentially change their life. That's not something. That's not something that they're regularly seeing every single day,
Yeah.
right? But at
Absolutely.
the same time, because I know what I'm doing and I'm sticking to my plan, that's how we end up floating 61,000 back on a Sunday night call. I'm like, bro, that's how it goes. Like, you
That
stick to
shit
your
is
plan. You
crazy,
have to
dude.
know your plan. I scaled in.
Dude.
Even when I scaled in, I posted on Instagram at literally at the time of the brand new entries, and I'm showing people. But once again, I didn't add 15 more lots. I just added 10 lots. Right? I
Yeah.
understood. So
Dude, I aspire to be like that. Fuck, man. It's just oil is just so volatile. It's
yeah,
like
it's a different
dropping
game,
those
bro. Like,
lots is like it's intimidating. It's intimidating.
I mean, you guys will realize like once you get past certain barriers, I probably wouldn't be able to do what I did with this 500 with 500,000. Not right now, not at the moment. Like I wouldn't just be aggressively throwing around 1,000 lots. Like I wouldn't give myself 20 pips breathing room on a $500,000 account. You
Yeah.
see how the difference in like the psycho like that's where once again the places I plan on going, it's like I plan on there coming a time where I have multiple six figures on residual income, like multiple, like 500,000 coming in every month, where you can load up 200,000 and trade it like this 500. When I
Yeah.
start doing that, you guys, I probably won't even be hopping on Zooms anymore. I'm gonna just make sure me and mine is good. Like, at that point, I've given enough free game. Like at that point, I don't even want YouTube or anyone to know I'm making those
You know
kind
what I'm
of
saying? Like, hey, leave it on to the next
genuinely, bro.
generation.
Yeah, like I'll show phase at the next FX summit. Outside of that, outside of that, I'm here. What made me use FX Sway? I mean, the easiest way to explain it was, I liked FX Sway a lot. Lewis Neal, he's super solid. Played in the NFL. They got great spreads. Everything was solid, and they sent me over a good deal, and that's like anything, like playing in the
Yeah.
NFL. You go with the team that gives you a good deal and that you see yourself winning championships with. So the biggest thing, free game too, on that with brokerages, and Cody can talk on that too, is like the two biggest things that I look for now as a trader is number one, do they have the liquidity to be able to pay me? Like if I end up having a multiple six-figure month or something like that, are they going to be able to pay me out that kind of bread? And number two, if I bring on $1 million clients that want me to handle
Wires.
that capital, yeah, like even if they can't do wires, that's okay. If they can do crypto and they understand how to do it, that's fine. But once again, are they going to be able to handle that type of liquidity? So it's like, are they going to just close up shop, run off with the bread? Can they handle that liquidity? It's a lot more than just getting that kind of money in an account. It's like, can they actually pay it out? So I know the
Yeah.
money backing FX Sway. I know Lewis is heavily connected. So it's like, yeah, it's just he was one of the few people that actually owned a broker that was down to hop on a Zoom and show his face. Like a lot of these guys, they'll just maybe hop on Zoom, but you won't even see them. You don't even know what they look like. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't fuck with that, bro. Just personally, it's like, yo, if I'm about to park some money over here with you guys to trade it, and you guys are gonna be making money on my trades, then
I gotta trust him.
and yeah, exactly. Hans, he's a great trader too. He was an NFL player. He's a great trader. He's trustworthy. Like those are the things I look for.
Facts. Absolutely.
Yo, fam. Let me just say something. I appreciate you for breaking this down. It's kind of funny because just about what three Sundays ago, we was out here in Atlanta, just chilling crazy.
At
You
the
know,
at
telling me
Invest Fest.
exactly what you're about to do. Yeah.
Yep.
And what stood out to me is like you knew exactly what you wanted to do as soon as the market reopened. You're like, yo, I think it was what Saturday we was at the Invest Fest, and you're like, yo, I'm about to take out the 20,000 and
Yep.
secure the bag,
Correct.
and then the 6,000 I'm gonna use it to do this and that and that because that right there shows the discipline because you are way beyond the fact that it's just money. You understand that it's numbers. You understand that it's prioritized what you need to do, and you're not changing your whole concept of plans just because there's a potential setup that might happen or whatever. Like you want to make sure you secure the bag first, and you know that was definitely something I kept to myself. Besides, like you know, the real conversations that we had, and you know, it was good vibes. You know, as always. You
Lit.
know,
Yeah, no,
um,
definitely, bro. You gotta, you know, like once again, back to manifestation. Everything for the most part that's been taking place is like Cody. I called you before the FCF started and
Yeah.
told you I was gonna go play in a league and spark a joint after a touchdown. Like
Dude,
we
I was
talked.
sitting like in disbelief, like, dude, this is not gonna be a
We
good
talked about it though. We
idea.
talked
Yeah.
about it like a year before it happened. So it's once again like I don't when there's people, certain people in my life that I know I can reach out to that when I tell them things, I know that even if they don't believe it, that my faith grows by hearing it. Right? In the Bible it says
Facts.
faith increases by hearing the word. So like I
Mhm.
got to a point where I started saying to myself, I'm going to tell so many people the things that I'm going to do that not only am I increasing my faith to go do those things, but now if I don't do those things, I'm a liar.
You
Because I
gotta be held accountable. Absolutely.
exactly, bro.
Gotta be held
Otherwise,
accountable.
everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, Stu said he was gonna do this, this, and this.
But
What happened, my guy?"
what happened? Dude, I lived on that raft for like 3 months when I was like, I'm getting a Tesla. I'm gonna buy a Tesla. And I'm
Yep.
looking everywhere for one, like for not just a Tesla. You know, I want the Tesla. I want my Model X, the white
Yep.
interior. I wanted this. And 3 months, everybody's like, dude, you've been saying you're gonna get a Tesla months. And I'm like, I know, Doug. I know. I'm trying. And then I found her finally. But
You
yeah, you
found
gotta
her.
be
You
held
got her
accountable.
laced up exactly how you want it. That's the first time I felt like I was on a roller coaster in a whip. When
Yeah.
you
Oh
took off
yeah.
at that green light, I was like, "Yo, the G forces really had me in that seat, bro. That was crazy."
It's crazy. I really want to get the fucking plaid now. I want to so bad.
In due time, bro. In due time. But
Uh,
let's see here. We'll go like another 5 minutes. I know we've been on here an hour and a half. Once again, this is another slick reason why I stayed away from paid Zoom because I knew if I have paid Zoom, I'm gonna be on these calls for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, bro. Like every
You're
other
not
Zoom call
wrong.
I've ever done has been 40 minutes, and I'll be mid thought, and it just closes out, and it's like I'm out of here. So
Yeah.
It
nah, but
was time,
because
bro.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely time, but because because we had Cody hop on, I wanted to make sure because the psychology portion of it and hearing that stuff from us is more important than any chart will ever show you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
learning and having a comprehensive strategy as far as I'm getting in here, I'm exiting here. That part is not even that crazy.
It's not. It's just trusting yourself,
It's
really.
just trusting yourself. Exactly. It's more so the mental battle of how do you handle a loss? How do you handle dubs? Right? Because you don't want to get overconfident or start to get
Yeah.
lazy and lackadaisical or think you got it all figured out. It's just really
You will get
riding those
humbled.
waves. But yeah, you will
Yeah.
get humbled.
No doubt. After your Zoom call, I'm gonna hop on mine and I still gotta break down the two oil trades I took with the group. So I'm gonna break them bitches down afterwards. But I know these will be a good Q&A for everybody.
Yeah,
What is
facts.
you want to answer these last two?
Yeah, I see someone said, how locked in were you during this build, or was it a strategic plan you had? I wouldn't even say I was really that locked in. I was on tour with destroying, so it was like, like if anything, it kind of was a blessing that I had other things going on. So like it took my mind off it outside of me entering, and then an hour would go by, and I would be like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I forgot. Let me hop over here real quick, and
Yeah, nah, you're not wrong. That shit
so
is like sitting down in your computer low key sometimes or
sometimes
looking at your phone
facts.
constantly is like sometimes like the
Yeah,
worst thing that can happen because your
facts,
psychology is just being destroyed by the minute sometimes. Like maybe I need to
facts.
put this down and trust myself. I made this analysis. You knew what you were willing to lose before you entered that trade. You set that stop loss where you set it. So it's like you accepted the loss already. So why is it you constantly checking it and then people close early? You take losses that are unnecessary. So just having something to focus on something else it's a blessing for real. Being able to play football at that, like,
All
yeah,
right.
it
Yeah, I
don't get
mean,
no
bro,
better than that.
it's another reason why we go and hoop a lot. You know, it's like I go play basketball knowing I'm not about to go dominate this game. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm the type of guy, yeah, I'm in here for cardio. Like, you know, I'm gonna make some plays, but it's like I understand that that's something that like I'll enjoy doing, but will still keep that competitive fire. I'll keep my mind off of trades. Like that'll allow a couple 30-minute candles to close,
Yeah.
and just having those outlets, like having things that you know that you can do. And once again, keep this in mind, this is the most free game. Is you staring at that chart won't control what price is going to do. Like I hope you don't think, I hope y'all aren't at home like Professor
It's
X. I hope y'all aren't at home like this and shit, looking at the charts.
so fucking dead.
Y'all staring at the charts like this, like, yo, go back up. I swear, yo, 2 pips from my SL.
Like, oh
You're
God.
gonna
Oh
get
God. I'm
stopped
gonna open
either way.
this up more.
I promise you, right? You're gonna move your SL. Now all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're taking a bigger loss than you should have if you just went away from your phone. Like it's just the concept of you looking at them markets is not gonna change anything. So let price play out how it's gonna play out. You know, find other hobbies and things to do that keep you occupied and just follow your rules. You know, a lot of people they're freaking out because it's still a lot of guessing. You might still be early enough in your career. You're not confident enough to really like take a trade and, you know, manage it and hold it. And that just is levels. It's levels because you got to remember you're working a different muscle. You're working a muscle that deals with money. That's a touchy muscle. That's a tender muscle.
Yeah.
That shit. I used to
At times like
not
these.
even used to, bro. Motherfuckers fight over that muscle, bro. Like,
Yeah, straight
you
up.
know, somebody owes you 30. I seen a post one time. I was dying laughing, bro. He was like, man, rest in peace to my cousin. Uh, he was like, man, that man owed me $40. Ain't God good?
I'm fucking dead. Ain't God good.
Forty
Oh,
dollars, man. That man said God is good for his cousin.
that shit crazy. Oh
Hey,
So
man.
yo, I
yeah,
got a quick question, bro.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. I hopped on late. I was wondering what your confluences were for that trade. Like, you could go over like super quick. You don't got to
Yeah,
like.
just the mental confluence, daily time frame respected 61.8. Then we created a higher low around the 50% area. From that point, once we got the crossover above the 50 moving average on the H1 time frame, I already had about 3 entries, and from there I was going sub fib point A to point B. Just maintaining the order. Just maintaining the order. All we were getting was 23.6 continuation areas. And yeah, I was scaling in on 23.6. Everything daily time frame was letting me know bullish. We crossed over the 50 moving average on the daily time frame bullish. So I just wasn't seeing anything and still have yet to see anything. Even right now, as we're at 137.33, I don't see anything yet that's showing me I need to get out. Like everything is still bullish. I don't think there's anything economically that's going to strengthen the yen that crazy. I do like the fact that the dollar, they've stopped printing. Like once
Dollars are
again,
fun.
yeah, the inflation on the dollar, that helps. The fact that they've halted printing and that they're not printing money at the current moment, that's a good thing for the dollar. I like that a lot. So, you know, I see it long, but once again, I see it long to like 145. Am I taking it that far? No, because once again, I'm sticking to my rules. Once I have a mind, I told myself I want to do $500 to 100,000. Period. Like once I do that, it's like bet. Let me take, like that's so astronomical build wise, percentage wise. I'm like, once
Yeah.
I do that, I'm good. I'm gonna take some
Five.
bread out and just look for another setup. It's that
Like
simple.
fucking 10,000%.
Solid, bro.
Crazy number.
Facts. But even me breaking that down, it's like I don't even have my chart pulled up. I have the quotes pulled up over here where prices, but like I don't have my chart pulled up. It just goes to show the same way Cody and I could recall a play like, yo, bro, on that 3rd and 10 in the third quarter when you were down 2 scores. Like, what were you seeing? I swear on everything I love, I would be able to tell you what the play call was, what the alignment was, what
Yeah.
defense they were in, like what I
I'd
was
be able to
seeing.
kick myself in the foot if I remembered what it was, and like I knew I should have.
That's the worst, bro. The night
Yeah.
after the game, you're laying in bed and it's the plays that you know you could have made, like the pitch where I wish I would have made, or like you're laying in bed and you can't stop thinking about those. It would keep me up at night. I wouldn't sleep for days at times because I would be thinking like, yo, if I hit A gap instead of B gap, that would have been like a 60-yard run or this or that, and like
Yeah.
all
It's
these
really
things
just
that could have been.
it's that strive just want to succeed when whatever it is that you're in.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Bro.
So it's like you take that loss with trading. It's like for me, it's like seeing all these different setups, and you see the perfect setup, and it's like I know. You can never say that word. I know, but then whenever it doesn't, when it doesn't go your way, and you sit there and it's like, dude, I feel like I knew, like I know it was this, and then it doesn't turn out to be that way. Sometimes you gotta accept it like for what it is. Like,
Nah, that's facts, bro. I see somebody
Well,
said the dollar's taking PEDs, and I completely agree.
the
It's
question, gentlemen, when did it start like flipping from blowing your accounts every week to that first build that you guys just got consistent? Like,
mine
when
was
did you
the
guys
first
start getting
withdrawal.
consistent?
Mine was hands down the first withdrawal. That was when, because it was like, not first withdrawal as far as like you put money in and didn't make profit out and withdrew it. Not that kind of withdrawal. Like the withdrawal where it's like you threw some money in, you made profit on it, you withdrew it, whether it been a small, like mine was, I was fortunate enough to get a smaller investor to help me start my journey. And he gave me like $4,000, but we put in the account, and I think I made like $1,200 in a whole month. It wasn't like the best, it was a decent month, and it was just getting that first. I took $1,000 out, left a little bit of equity in there to try to build, taking that 1,000 was like, all right, like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm doing what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to make this money the way I said I was going to make it. I'm just going to build it to where these $1,200 months or $12,000 months till they're $220,000 months and so on. So it's like everything flipped for me once I understood my fundamentals, once I understood market structure and price action itself, and just kind of using all confluences together, it made me profitable for the month. And once I was able to make that first withdrawal, it was like, that was it. That was the switch that just flipped. Like, I'm doing this. Like, there's no going back. I'm doing this,
nah, facts. I mean,
Gotcha.
once you
Thank
see the withdrawal, it definitely makes it real. But keep in mind, like everyone's process is different. Like, and even in regards to like if flipping, even with me being in like these big trades and everything else, it's never a time in trading that you just have everything figured out. Like,
Absolutely.
it's always another setup. It's always another trade that you're gonna win or lose. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's more so you just have to get comfortable with the process of, like, once again, just catching the moves. And I'm obviously talking from a different place of perspective because I've had really big days, but it's just still the concept though of the day. Like, the days don't really matter. Like, if you just stick to it long term enough, then you're gonna have some moments where like you're gonna be very emotional over the time you put in. Like, whether it's your first 1,000. I remember when I had my first $500 day, I was in Memphis, and like we were joking around saying like half a rack, and we went and got a half a rack of ribs and everything. Like, they're like, have fun with that shit, bro. Cause shout out to Memphis, the ribs in Memphis go crazy. But like, you gotta have fun with it. Like, we were even doing hashtag half a rack and everything else. Like, to us, $500 was 100,000. Like just how broke we were in college. And so to do that in a single day and be able to just pull that out, like that was game changing. So that's what I recommend is like pay yourself. The more times that you just take money out and remind yourself what you're even doing this for, it makes it that much realer, and you get addicted to want to keep withdrawing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nah, that's a bet, bro. Cody, any closing remarks, any places people can find you? I want to wrap this up. I know we're going on almost 2 hours. I know you got another call you're about to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna drop my Zoom link on my Instagram, but I'm just gonna be breaking down our oil trade. I had a couple different trades this week, but I'm just focusing on these 2 oil trades, just break it down real fast, and kind of just give the overall view of what I feel like oil is doing this week, and pretty much it. I'm gonna close it out too. I got some Madden games and like I got a buddy that's trying to throw 100 on a Madden game with 23.
Yes, sir. Might as well get some easy money. Well, I mean, let the people know if you want to put in the chat real quick what your IG is, just so that way people know where to follow you. And yeah, so for everyone watching this, whether you guys are watching on YouTube, feel free to hit that subscribe button, like it, drop a comment, something you guys want me to talk about in a future video, whatever it may be, for real. Once again, the whole purpose of this call, we've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes, was just to drop game. So for the 71 people that stuck around the entire time, shout out to y'all, like dead ass. I know you guys are all in different places on your journey. So am I, so is Cody. Like, we're all collectively here as a group, as a unit, to get better, to keep progressing. I know everyone here has families that's counting on them, that you guys, you guys all have whys and reasons to keep pushing. So shout out to y'all. That concludes